Hello, hashtag Verse TV family, and welcome. It's week 236. I'm Aaron Mack here with you tonight. And you know what? Let's go ahead and much love to and from everyone as appropriate. Yes, very much. Very much thank you. Thank you. And I was actually talking to Kevin just yesterday about, I don't remember what exactly, but of course, as always, he sends his love. And my question that I am going to randomly ask, my randomly generated question that I am going to ask myself is, what song what's one song you really relate to? Oh my gosh. Like, of course, like every week we do our favorite song thing. I don't think I've named this as my favorite yet, but it's definitely one of my favorites. I might have. But Regina Bell's song Show Me the Way. And as far as relating to it, I particularly connect with the second verse. Ooh, oh my gosh. Just thinking about it, y'all. When she starts it off with, I've been used and I've been good at using. And it's like, now I don't use anybody, of course, you know, that what? But what I take that as is. That's a song by Black. Um, no, as if I'm ever gonna take you back again. Anyway, okay. But what I receive that as is I've people have done me wrong, and I've also inadvertently. I don't deliberately just reach out to like make people's day bad or anything like that. But in my learning as I grow, and I'm 40 years old, and I'm still growing. Yes, hallelujah. In my learning as I grow, ooh, I have done some people wrong, but not deliberately like, oh, I'm doing you wrong because I want to do you wrong. It's because I just didn't understand. And particularly as far as my the whole gay thing, like learning how to be in that. Anyway, so the song, right? Are you all ready? Okay. So my song is none other than the live performance 1992 February 92 Grammys live performance of If It's Over by Mariah Carey. And here's part of the reason that I really wanted to bring Mariah Carey up, particularly again. I kind of feel that I didn't maybe when I spoke about Mariah Carey in last week's live Mike TV 235, in my speaking of Mariah lip syncs some might have seemed like I was trying to hate, but I absolutely was not at all. No. And also, if she wanted to lip sync at this point, She's already proven herself by far. And that performance of If It's Over at the Grammys, February 92, oh my gosh. If It's Over is a song from her Emotions album, which is her second album. Because remember, in the 90s, Mariah Carey, I don't know, she's the first one to my knowledge to do this, but she, in the 90s, like she was on that clip of release an album every single year, you know? And so that was from Emotions, which was her second album. Her debut album came out in 1990. And Emotions came out in 91. So it was the performance at the Grammys 92, February. And oh my gosh. Like that was just like you could just tell that like that was just one of those days like her voice was just like, yes, I'm showing up for this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, like because sometimes singers, us singers, well, I haven't sung professionally in quite a while, but well, you know, music is in you. When the music is in you, it's in you. You know, I'm fine. You off of Symphonia, yes. Anyway, but when the music is in you, it's in you. And as far as her performance, like she was really in good voice that night. She's like, if it's over, if it's over. And I'm like, yes, Mariah. Like she was, she just did it. And but again, I she's proven herself. She doesn't have to if she wants to take a background track and just sing on top of it always, she can do that because it's her voice. And ooh, I don't know what that feedback was, but whatever. She could do it because it's her voice. We already know she is exceptional. She is outstanding. She is exquisite vocally. Yes. That at the end of the sentence. Anyway, hashtag Verse TV family. Are you all ready to get the show? Hmm. Did I? Okay. Like I'm looking at that question again. I don't know if I officially named the actual song by Regina Belle. I did. It was Regina Belle, Show Me the Way. I love that song. I love that performance of Mariah Carey at the Grammys, If It's Over. Oh my gosh. Singers, musicians. Yes. Anyway, all right. Are we ready to get the show on the road? Hashtag Verse TV family. Let's do it. Yeah. Oh, I also wanted to play this in terms of proving or in terms of farther solidifying my point that Mariah Carey is exceptional. At the legendary Mariah Carey. Anytime You Need a Friend from her third album, Music Box. Ugh. See, yeah, being a millennial, I love it because we got songs like that in our childhood. We got the and saying dueling divas is like kind of it's kind of a misogynist to an extent because it's like why do they have to be dueling because they're women? It's like no, it's just that growing up in the 90s and 80s we had exceptional and early 2000s. I'll throw in the early 2000s. We had some exceptional vocalists and some exceptional music. All right, so here we go. Are we ready to get the show on the road again? Yes. All right, yes. Hashtag arrival approaching at 2_girls_1_pup. Hashtag VerseTV236A.
If you are like me, a long-time single who is struggling to find love, then I have a metaphor that's going to change your perception on dating. Being single is like being on a train. Go with me here on this one. So you get on the train in your late teens, early 20s, and it's great. All of your friends are there, you're having a great time. The stops go past and you're like, no, that's not my stop. People will get on the train, have a bit of a flirt, everything's fine. But then the older you get, the more of your friends start getting off the train, and you look out the window and you see what life is like. Some people are moving in, people start getting engaged, getting married, and you're like, oh yeah, actually I'd quite like to get off the train as well now, I think. But every time you're like, oh, that stop looks good, I want to get off there, and the conductor's like, no, sorry, you can't get off on that stop, I'm afraid. And it's a bit shit, to be honest with you. But like, you are going to be on the train until you get to the stop you have on your ticket. Like, you can't get off early. The conductor is just doing his job. So you're going to be on the same amount of time no matter what. So you can either spend your journey like being anxious, like checking your watch, like, or you can just enjoy it and, you know, read your book, just like look at the scenery. So whenever I feel really stressed about missing a stop that I thought was the one on my ticket, I try and say to myself, the stop is coming, you will get off. You just gotta wait for the right one.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that analogy very much. And I will say for myself that, such an, again, interesting analogy because for myself, when I was younger, yeah, my biggest concern was the fear of getting off at the wrong stop and being stuck. And it's like, in terms of going along with that analogy, continuing the analogy, I will say, yeah, you don't want to get off at the wrong stop, but there dare I say there is more than one stop that could be the right stop with the right amount of work. It's kind of like sometimes purchasing a fixer upper house, you know? And sometimes you all have to put in work together. Maybe manifest. Yeah, because maybe it's not necessarily that the one for you, and as mental health counselors have helped me in times past, there are, it's not that there's only one. And if you don't get it right, that's the end of it. You're done. Sorry, you're cooked, lonely for uh like Kevin Samuels would so harshly say, die alone, you know? Now, it's not that it would necessarily manifest as a perfect connection, but it can take some work together to make it work. And that's why it's like, I say this all the time, but three main things that you need to make any relationship work. Any relationship work. Any. Because I used to hear this and I'd be like, any relationship? I don't know about any relationship, but I guess a lot of them. But no, any relationship. Because you need one, both have to be mutually attracted to each other's uniqueness. You know, I. hmm, I'm thinking about a man. Whatever, whatever. But yes, mutual attraction to each other's uniqueness, mutual desire to make a relationship work, which is, I think, a very important part. A mutual desire to make a relationship work, mutual attraction to each other's uniqueness, and make a relationship work. I don't remember the third one. I'm not going to waste all the time. Sorry, y'all. I don't remember the third one. But, oh, yay, I remembered. Passionate about the same things. But you don't have to necessarily agree on those things, but you have to both be passionate about the same type of thing. For example, you live your life, you have equal passions in something, unequal passions in other things. But for example, you have a thing like politics, and you're both super passionate about politics, but one's a passionate Republican and the other is a passionate Democrat. But you're both super passionate about politics. So stuff like that can work. Again, a mutual desire to make a relationship work, a mutual attraction to each other's uniqueness, and passionate about the same type of things. Anyway, so yes, you can make the relationship work. And mm, yeah, like in Being Mary Jane, the episode, I don't know if I've done this like 6 minutes. I'm sorry already, but the episode where the mother cheated on the beautiful Richard Roundtree, her husband, and she was like, ultimately they broke up for that, yes, but they had been together for decades, right? And I get it, like cheating for many is that ELE, extinction level event. Now, what she was saying is she was like, yes, you know, I guess I didn't appreciate that this other guy came in and brought this fun, exciting, and quick and fast love and quick and fast like, and he caught me up in his whirlwind, and next thing you know, I cheated and accidentally. And she was like, I guess I didn't realize the significance of the long, slow burn of your father. She's saying that to Mary Jane. I guess I didn't realize the significance of the long, slow burn of your father. Instead, just wanted a quick flash. Anyway, but non. Oh yeah, yeah. So there are non-negotiables, and you should think about yourself and think about your non-negotiables. Okay, and those things are real, and stay true to that. Stay true to your non-negotiables, but also acknowledge that some things will keep you single for a long to a lifetime. So now, a non-negotiable for me, for example, is putting your hands on me in a when you put your hands on me, I'm gonna leave you. Yes. Okay. So that's the Christina Aguilera throwback. Yes, I'm a millennial, but if you put your hands on me, I'm gonna leave you. Okay. we are done, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, that's a non-negotiable of mine. Okay. Now, my one sentence wrap up. Oh, I didn't even get to give my analogy. I can't talk forever, so I'm not gonna even go into it. But be patient, yes. And if you care, don't miss your stop. And by that, I'm saying, like, if you are somebody who's like, I want to find my one, I want to be with someone. Not everybody feels that way, but if you feel that way, yes, be patient and don't miss your stop. That's important. And yes, try to find perfection on generally, oh, yeah. Don't. I don't even have time to go into that. Sorry. Okay. So yes, if you care, don't miss your stop. Yes, and be understanding that some things need the two to work together. Yes, and it takes patience from both. Boom. All right. And the hashtag Verse TV family, yes or no question. Oh my gosh. How many minutes? Hmm. Are you willing to take the time to grow sincerely good, sincere, m- uh, sincere? Are you willing to take the time to grow sincere good into marvelously sincere? And yes or no? And my answer is yes. Now, when I was younger, I didn't realize that perfection generally takes development. Like we used to say in the marching band, perfect practice makes perfect, not practice makes perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. Perfection generally takes development. So is not both sincere. I'm not going to repeat myself again and again and again. So, are we ready for the next topic, y'all? Yes? Okay. And here comes B. Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Hashtag HeyShoreTV236 at looking for something serious. Hashtag VerseTV236B.
Hi friends. So after going on over 200 dates, I have a piece of advice about first dates that I wish I had known about when I was single. And that advice is this. Someone's behavior after a first date is way more telling about their level of interest in you and who they really are than their behavior on the first date itself. The reason for this is that most people want to have a good time on a first date. So even if they're not that into you or they're not looking for anything serious, chances are they're still going to try to be pleasant and likable. Also, and probably more importantly, most people are not good at rejecting other people in person. So oftentimes on first dates, people agree to a second date or they might even suggest the second date themselves, but that's not what they really want. And when they go home after the first date, they realize it and then they reject you. So although it's tempting to take someone at face value on a first date, my advice is this. Wait and see how they act after the first date. This will be way more telling about their level of interest, their intentions, and their true character than their behavior on the date itself.
It's a shame I had to learn the hard way. My thirsty, desperate chases wouldn't make him stay. Yes. So, it's a shame I had to learn the long way. My thirsty, desperate chases wouldn't make him stay. And this is something that I realized, but my wishful thinking would have me hope for the best. That even though I've I truly dislike dating, I do. That at the end of the sentence, I dislike dating. And even though I would build myself up with excitement, like, oh, oh, there's a date, and oh, yay, this date is going well, and oh, hello. Well, why didn't he call me back ever again? Ever, ever, ever. Anyway, okay, this is hashtag verse hey shorty B. So let's keep it short. Boom. All right. Topic C, like Case. One of my favorite singers. Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you very much. Hashtag out goodness at Mastery Bootcamp at Gay Magazine. Hashtag Verse TV 236C.
Do you feel the possibility that you're a homosexual and you by disrespect them, you further yourself from being a homosexual?
When you said that to Boosie and Boosie looked at you and you looked at Boosie, we all knew Boosie's not gonna win this one.
You only saw me and him talking. I have a trans daughter. She got on the plane from New York. She just comes in my booth of my show like she's some fucking enforcer. I said, hey, what are you doing here? Hey, chill. And she just went to him, hey, what's your problem with gay people? He said something about Dwayne Wade's son. Really, was it that serious? I'm talking to my daughter. I'm trying to talk to this man in a way where he won't say anything, because my daughter's right there waiting for him to say something. My daughter's meaner than me. Fuck. I made a mistake and said a bitch at home one day. She said, don't ever say it, stop now. Don't, whoa, some crazy shit.
Text. Marlon Wayans discusses loving his transgender son and creating jokes in new special.
It's gonna be truth, it's gonna be funny, but it's gonna be love. And then Skittles or Rainbow Child is about my daughter. I have a daughter that transitioned into a son. My daughter Amai is now Kai.
Truthful.
And so
True, okay.
And so I talk about the transition, not her their transition, but my transition as a parent, going from ignorance and denial to complete unconditional love and acceptance.
Gotcha.
And I think there's a lot of parents out there that need to have that message. And I know I'm dealing with it. It was a very painful situation for me. But man, it's one of the best, funniest hours I probably could ever imagine.
I can't see your child come up to you and asking you, because you joke too much. So I can see a child say, Dad, I'm thinking of transitioning, and I could just see you take nothing serious.
I always joke. They know.
It is a beautiful thing. Parents putting love first. Yes, that is a beautiful thing. Putting love for their children, just putting love first. Let's all, every single one of us human beings in the world, put love first. How about that? Now, that sort of lends itself to me saying, and maybe it's archaic at this point, but, and perhaps archaic for good reason, but I think it's and no, it's not archaic at this point, but this speaks to the importance of people coming out as gay. Because if back in the day when people would not come out at all as gay and then slowly started coming out more and more, back in the day when people would not do it at all, everybody else would think, oh, well, I don't know anybody gay, so that stuff that's for the dogs. And actually, I've heard people speak this, say like, animals are smarter than gays because animals don't engage in gay sex. It's like, Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't happen, dear sweetheart. But anyway, but yes. So I think it's also important for us Q plus people to exercise patience with our families. Be- mm. Physician, heal thyself. Wow. Aaron, you better stop talking to you like that. Oh, what? Anyway, but yeah. So it is important for us to exercise patience with our families. Yes. Okay. Now, yeah. I love Dan Savage's work and the Savage Love podcast. All of that's exceptional. Yes. I will say back in the day, I still remembered before I came out even more, but in my late 20s, I'll say, he would always say on his podcast, like when somebody would call or write in and say things like, yeah, my so and so didn't invite me to Thanksgiving dinner, or they said they would invite me, oof, but I can't bring my husband or my wife of the same gender. And it's like Dan Savage's response was, if your family won't love and accept you as you are, as an adult, not a kid, but as an adult, because as a kid, you make sure that you actually actively, anyway. So as a kid, hold up. But as an adult, he was like, you need to move on from your family if they won't respect you. And I started being like, well, if if that's how things manifest, then I guess I too need to. But fortunately, that's not how things manifest. It does take patience, and I do think that, just like the relationships that I talked about before, it takes patience and working together, and things aren't necessarily going to always immediately be 100% perfect. Like the Katy Perry song Movies. I used to say that about all of my relationships. I'd be like, if it's not like the movies, well, that's how it should be. He put it on me, I put it on. Like there was nothing wrong. It didn't fit, it wasn't right. Wasn't just the size. They say you know when you know. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, that's how I was. If it wasn't immediately perfect, then that meant that I was like out. And I had to grow to learn that sometimes it takes working with someone in terms of relationships, but also in terms of family. Sometimes things take patience. Now, sometimes people are just set in their ways, period. And I don't know, that's difficult. That's difficult. But family is family. But I don't know. Like, if maybe it's not disowning them entirely, but, and I think this was Dan Savage's point, make yourself scarce until they value your presence. Boom, there it is. Okay. Now, yeah, but I think it's beautiful how parents are growing. Now, I will say this, speaking of family and parents, I did send this video to my dad, and I thanked him for his affirming love for me also. I said, it's not that I don't want to transition or anything, but I, FYI, y'all, I'm looking to do some big same gender loving things in the not too distant future. Not, well, not too distant. Makes it seem like tomorrow. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Ooh, I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying anything negative about somebody who is exceptional. Period. So I'm gonna shut my mouth and yes, I know that it takes evolving love, and same with family, same with relationships, romantic relationships. It takes evolving love. The key is sincerely trying your best. They sincerely trying their best as well. Boom, mutually working together. Hashtag Verse TV family, yes or no question. In spite of a growing dislike for labels, do you still think it's beneficial for people to come out of the closet? And my response is yes, because when people say, I'm no label, so I just keep it to myself because I'm no label, then it's like, yeah, you're right. Some people want to know yeah, because people won't know that they know somebody like you. If you say, no, you know what, I'm not going to come out because I'm no label, so I'm not going to do it. And then the people who know you won't know that they know somebody like you, which can in turn bring us back to the 20s slowly over time and have people thinking like, well, I don't know anybody like that. So F those people who are claiming that or those aliens, because people think some ridiculous stuff sometimes. Anyway, all right. Hashtag Verse TV family next. Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you.
Hashtag flags red at the gay dating coach at gay magazine hashtag Verse TV 236D.
If we dating, right, you a guy, I'm a guy, and we start going out, you gonna pay for everything in the beginning. Yeah, you gonna pay for everything. I need that princess treatment. I don't care how masculine I am. I don't care what's going on. You gonna pay for everything. Then once we build that foundation, once we get in a relationship, I start young. Then I start, oh babe, I got it. Or I bring you home some sneakers, or I bring you some sneakers a day, or because I like, I like spending money on my man too, but you ain't my man yet. In the beginning, you gonna have to pay. Princess treatment. Then we could change it. Then we could switch it up. Now it's, you feel me?
This is given user and leech treatment, okay? Be careful with guys who, in the beginning of why y'all trying to date and get to know each other, don't want to put in equal effort. I don't care how much money you make, how cute you look, what your body looks like. In the beginning, you both should be trying to court, wine, and dine each other. Get somebody else to do it. Super red flag if you come across a guy like this. Or princess.
Well, the younger me probably would have, to a degree, like not to the degree of throwing all of my money away necessarily, because I always have to like watch what I say about money, because I did read part of the book Think and Grow Rich. And one of the things that it said is stop referring to yourself as broke, stop saying that you were broke, or stop saying that you are broke and stuff like that, because that blocks money. So I'll just rephrase what I'm going to say, and I'll say, yeah, I don't think that the young guy in the beginning was right, but as far as the princess treatment, it has a name for a reason, because there are hetero women, not even necessarily young women, but hetero women that society tells them that they can and should expect the princess treatment. And that's a thing. Now, as far as him, I feel that I'm just gonna skip all over. 20 minutes, 45. Yeah, so the younger me would have probably agreed to an arrangement like what he's talking about as far as his princess treatment. But yeah, okay, so what I'm saying is the younger me would have probably agreed to his princess treatment, but I, sorry, and the older me also would agree to it. I am speaking to, wow. I'm not saying that here. I'm sorry. But when I was on the market, I would have agreed to it if and only if all of my, yeah, admittedly ridiculous insecurity tests are passed. If he passes all of my ridiculous insecurity tests, I would have been like, okay, I can give you the princess treatment, and all the way up to making myself broke, which is stupid. Anyway, but yes, that's if he had passed all of my ridiculous tests. But chances are he wouldn't, because nobody did. Anyway, that's it is what it is. But the test would be to test his sincerity. And I will say he looked like he was in his 20s. And I will say also that he will probably evolve in time. I He might not, because it's not like there aren't older men and women out there talking about the princess treatment, you know. But I'd like to think that he would evolve in his per- perspective on that thing. And I think that he got that way of thinking from his good girlfriends who were heterosexual. But heteros, again, have it a little different in society, and hetero women can have certain expectations that other people cannot. I don't know if I do think that there are lesbian women out there who would be more than happy to provide their lesbian woman partner with the princess treatment. But for that point, there are also men out there who would be more than happy to provide that princess treatment for their man. But here's the thing, when it comes to the princess treatment from anybody, for any gender, it yes, people can want whatever they want, but acknowledge that sometimes from some people, that princess treatment, I need a princess treat anyway, whatever. That princess treatment can come with a host of other expectations from you. And some people are willing to fulfill that, and that's fine. And maybe those are the people who end up with the princess treatment thing. Maybe, Kevin Samuels would always talk about a high value man and the expectations of the high value man, and he'd be like, a high value man can get whoever he wants, you know, and a high value lesbian woman can get whoever she wants, you know. But it comes down to, are you willing to fulfill such desires and acknowledge that waiting for your princess treatment might leave you single for a little bit longer? I'm not saying forever. You might find that one, but the princess treatment, waiting for the princess treatment might leave you single longer. Anyway, also, don't hurt other people on your path looking for that princess treatment, okay? Don't hurt others, okay? I've been used and I've been good at using, but yes, don't hurt me, you know? Don't hurt people like me, you know, in your path. Don't hurt anybody on that path searching for that princess treatment. Don't use. Anyway, the hashtag First TV family yes or no question is, if a person was a 10 plus on your 10-point scale, and if you were on the market, would you date a dude who wants this princess treatment if you had the money? And my answer is today, no, because I envision it as silly. I see it as silly. And the younger me, the answer is actually still no, but it's still no for a different reason, because I was one of those. I never put mask for mask in my profile, like totally, like, you know what I mean? But I would have been uncomfortable with it because I would have viewed him talking about the princess treatment as him being kind of feminine, and I would have been like, "Oh, I'm sorry, girl. I don't do feminine. I don't do fish." Oh my gosh. And chock full of irony, you know? Anyway. All right, hashtag Verse TV family. Here's our topic E, which is our hashtag Cerebral TV. All right. Oh, we're making good time. When we make time, when we making good time, baby. Remember that song by Avant? Share, subscribe, and share again.
Hashtag Cerebral TV 236 at Attorney Ryan at Black Forager at Carolee Vigstall. Hashtag First TV 236E. Text: McDonald's and Chipotle raising menu prices in California after minimum wage increase.
McDonald's and Chipotle think that you are an idiot. They think you're so dumb that you're going to read this headline and fall for it and vote against your own interests. Well, I'm a labor law expert and I'm going to set the record straight and I'm not going to lie to you, unlike these assholes. So, yes, California did pass a new minimum wage law that will raise the minimum wage for fast food workers to $20 an hour for certain large chains, not everybody. But that law doesn't take effect until April 2024. So when McDonald's and Chipotle say that they're raising their menu prices because of raising labor costs, you have to understand they're frickin' lying to you. They're trying to generate opposition. They want Republicans, the GOP, conservatives, working class people to think that raising wages somehow hurts them. And that's just not true. Because if this was because of payroll, it wouldn't happen till next year. They're lying to you. They think you're dumb.
I have a very important fall PSA for you. Leave the leaves. Leave the leaves. Leave the leaves. This fall, don't waste your time raking. Just leave the leaves. Leave the leaves. Want more fireflies in your yard? Leave the leaves. Want fewer mosquitoes near your house? Leave the leaves, surprisingly. Want to never spend money on mulch again? Believe it or not, leave the leaves. Leave the leaves. Excuse me, plant lady, I have a question. Can I shred the leaf? If I may respond to your question with a question, do you know what this is? Does it look like a pile of dead leaves? It sure does, but do you know what it actually is? That is the cocoon of none other than the Luna moth. Look how beautiful. So many wonderful insects are hiding in those leaves, so maybe don't shred them. But what if they kill my grass? Can vouch from personal experience. I tried to kill my grass with oak leaves last year, and now my grass is stronger than ever. It will not kill your lawn. As much as I wish it would, because grass is trash. Please replace it with native plants. Please. Leave the leaves!
Mortgage rates went up to 8% last week, and yet apparently you say now is a good time to buy a house. How is that? That doesn't compute in my brain.
It does, because nobody's expecting rates to come down, okay, immediately, okay, but they're going to come down, but they're never going to come to 2 or 3% like they used to be. But people are still dreaming about that. But the minute rates come down to anything with a 5 in front of it, everything's going to break loose. Everybody's on the sideline. The sellers will list, the buyers will buy, and you'll have so much competition that you'll be paying more for your house. I wouldn't be surprised if rates come down, if prices went up by 10 or even 15%. So you can't win. And you could always refinance later if you get a variable rate mortgage right now.
I will say that darn it, it's Cerebral TV. I wanted to make a comment, but I can't. A humorous observation, but I can't. So, here is our closing topic FA.
Hashtag Live Mike TV 236 at Destiny's Child _Graham. Hashtag First TV 236F. Text Destiny's Child Amazing Grace Smart Guy 1998.
Amazing grace, how sweet, how sweet, 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 the sound that saved the wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. What you say, girl? But now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Exceptional. Yes. That at the end of the sentence. And no, I'm kidding. Destiny's Child was and is an exceptional group. And I remember Destiny's Child really had an impact. And I, being an older millennial, I remember when they first came out. Well, actually, I remember when they first came out, but I remember their impact around that Writings on the Wall album. Now, technically, Destiny's Child's Amazing Grace that they did was on Writings on the Wall, but that was a performance clearly before Writings on the Wall. So clearly, it's not like they invented the song at Writings on the Wall. No, but that song is actually on the Writings on the Wall album. Slightly different arrangement, but still exceptional. And I remember Destiny's Child was cool to the extent that it's like the girls and the gay boys, as well as the hetero boys, loved them some Destiny's Child. And the hetero boys in high school, like, actually had attraction to the fellow young women, you know? So stuff like that's cool. Destiny's Child was doing the darn thing. Now, I will say this. I've been watching Terrell Grice's show with Destiny's Child members on it. I haven't finished any of them yet, but I do see that he's had LaToya Luckett, and I was watching that, and Latavia Robeson, and Latavia is still, they're all beautiful. They're all exceptionally beautiful, period. When I was in high school, though, I particularly had a gay boy crush on Latavia. I thought she was the most attractive to me. And looking at that video, I'm like, oh, I see Latavia at that forehead. I didn't realize. So both Latavia and LaToya Luckett are my forehead siblings. But yes, you know, a very special East African connection of mine was telling me how in certain areas of Eastern Africa, the big forehead is actually seen as a particularly attractive trait. And I know one dude I saw on YouTube, actually, and he was from Rwanda. And he was like, yeah, in Rwanda, us men, we like hetero men, but the hetero was, well, I don't think it makes much of a difference, because men and women, you know, my forehead siblings. And he's like, yeah, in Rwanda, we like women with big, we like four things big. We like women with a big butt, big lips, big nose, and a big forehead. And I'm like, all right, yes, anyway. And he also went on to say, he's like, and quiet as it's kept, I believe wholeheartedly that Rihanna is a Rwandan. He's like, because that's why she has that forehead. It's like LaToya Luckett too. And apparently from that video, Latavia Robeson as well, you know, and watching them on, how many minutes? On Terrell Grice, like, the LaToya Luckett interview just about had me ready to tear up, y'all. Like, I'm happy to see that they have fought through the hard times and coming out as survivors. Like one, I don't remember if it was Latavia or LaToya, but one of them saying that I'm a survivor, you know. So yes, and as far as Latavia, one thing that I will say this And I remember years ago, somebody said, I don't remember who said it, but somebody was like, yeah, forget them, Latavia, like, and I was particularly prone to hear what was said about Latavia because, again, I gay boy crush here, sorry. And the person whoever was like, yeah, Latavia, she really couldn't sing. She was kind of tone deaf and such. And I was like, I remember the Word Up magazine where they called her a female bass. And I was like, oh, I love it because I sing bass too. So we're both basses. She's a contralto. A bass is a man. And that's not a misogynist thing. It's just like guys saying, I'm a soprano. No, you're not a soprano. You're a countertenor. You're a high countertenor, but sopranos are women. Anyway, I used to get into a big debate about that with my best friend years ago. He'd be like, anyway, but yeah. Latavia, what she was saying on her interview with Terrell was she was like, yeah, I came to the group as I was supposed to be the rapper in the group. So it's like, and it just so happened that I was able to carry a tune a little bit, but I was supposed to be the rapper in the group. And then I think back to TLC, and I'm like, that's kind of like taking issue with Left Eye if her vocals, if she was not able to sing exceptionally well. But it's like Left Eye wasn't she was the rapper. Anyway, but I love Destiny's Child, all five. I can't wait for DC5. And all of them spoke very positively in their interview with Terrell Grice on Destiny's Child and moving forward and working together. And I am excited because I really think, and I can't wait to watch the Kelly Rowland one also. Destiny's Child, Kelly Rowland on Terrell Grice. Beyonce hasn't done it yet. She might. That would be like, oh my gosh. But it has, thus far, Kelly Rowland has been on it. LaToya Luckett and Latavia. And Michelle Williams definitely did it some time ago. But all right, hashtag Verse TV family. This has been week 236. I'm Aaron Mack, and we will see you in the ether next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Talk to you later. Peace. Hashtag VerseTV.com. Stay blessed. All right.